Hello, hello. Welcome to another pre-show event where we're going to be covering the next Apple event for fall 2023, which is the Apple Wonderlust. That's going to be happening here shortly on September 12th. And of course, it's going to be featured from the famous Apple Park. If you want to go watch it here in a bit, make sure you're logged in onto apple.com. But otherwise, I'm here with my fellow co-workers, Emmanuel Jordan and Heildebrand. We're going to be talking a little bit about all things to come, a little maybe speculation here and there about what's going to be talked about, what's going to be covered, and what's going to be new coming from Apple. So before we start, I definitely want to hear some just general thoughts, maybe some expectations here and there, what we would like to see. Start with you, Emmanuel.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Pro models and what all they packed into it. I'm a real big fan of that dynamic island and how iOS interacts with that. So I'm really interested to see, what new features they add to that overall.
Nice, nice. No, definitely. I'm curious about that front too and how that's going to play in to our speculations later. But Kyle, what about you? What have you heard? What are you interested in?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just a little bit of a fly on the wall on this. I used to use Apple products a lot back in the day. I have not in quite some time, but I still like to keep tabs on things. So, I'm just curious to see what all is happening, with this new 15. So, I guess we'll see what's going on.
No, I do want to talk on that real quick. For those who didn't watch our last video, I'm the resident Apple person here. Emmanuel and Kyle, not so much, but they still keep up with it. Funny enough. All right, so now that we have our experts in the room, I do want to quickly talk about something that's completely off topic to this Apple, which is also still Apple related, but I can't help myself as the artistic side of me wants to ask, what do we think of the logo for Wonderlust? Last time we had a bubble, and now we have a dune, sand, Thanos snap kind of Apple logo. Like, what's going on here? Kyle, what are your thoughts, your guesses?
Yeah, well, back in the old day, whenever iTunes was still fairly new on the old iMacs, they had kind of like a visual, like a screensaver kind of thing, but like a visual representation of the music that you were listening to that you could put on, and a lot of them were kind of like wispy, sandy, kind of looking, and so that's immediately what I thought whenever I saw this. So it seemed kind of like harkening back to the old days, while also obviously, showing some modernity and moving forward and whatnot. But that was my first thought whenever I saw this.
That is true. That does remind me of that. They better have something similar on a screensaver for the next macOS update. I will be disappointed if they don't. But Emmanuel, guesses. I want to know. What are your guesses?
Yeah, I mean, initially when I saw it, I was like, oh, promo for Sandman season 2 on Netflix. But anytime I see anything sandy like this, it makes me think of just, moving towards the future, the past, things getting old, So I think that they're going to be bringing in a lot of new features to iOS that, have been rumored, or even features that people have been waiting on for a really, really long time. So I'm excited.
All right. Yeah, no, lots of to be excited about, especially because, every year we get the long awaited updates for the next gen iPhone. And this year we're going to be getting the iPhone 15 and its many models. It's new features. So, Kyle, I know we did a little homework ourselves before this pre show event. So, what have you kind of looked into the internet? What is the internet speculating so far?
Yes, I indeed did do my homework, and my homework let me know that they're expected that the all of the iPhone 15 models are going to have the braided USB-C to USB-C cable. It's going to be color matched to the phone, and it's going to be 1.6 meters instead of 1 meter, so you'll have a little bit of extra room. And this USB-C is going to be used in place of the in place of Lightning, so they can keep up with the compliance with EU rules. So that is the guesses that people have as far as what's going on with the new USB-C cables.
I'm very not only was the link in particular very exciting to me because I don't know, as an iPhone user, let me say this, I have a little bias here, but as an iPhone user, I always struggled with the link throughout the years. It just never felt long enough. So the fact that we're even getting a little bit more is really nice. And also, we're going to USB-C, which is much more universal than the Lightning, and which is always, I think, the biggest complaint that a lot of Apple users have is that it's not compatible with other technology on the market. So this is definitely the step in the right direction. So thanks, EU, I guess. Thank you for your helping us out here. But okay, so we have the cable, we have the charging port here. Emmanuel, what about you? What did you discover?
Yeah. So yeah, the internets have been definitely talking. It's definitely rumored that there's going to be faster chips for one, upgraded cameras, which iPhone is. As an Android person, I know the iPhone is known for the camera quality, so I'm really excited to see what they come through with. And then my main thing I'm excited for, the dynamic island. It's going to be for all models, which previously was not. And then speaking of that, it's going to be smaller, which I love when they, make those camera punch holes a lot smaller. And then the last thing was that the screen sizes are going to be 6.1 inches and 6.7 inches. So I'm excited.
Ooh. I think I made this joke not that long ago off camera, so I'll make it again. These phone sizes are definitely a lot bigger than what we started out initially when phones started becoming just itty bitty little remotes in our pockets. But at some point, we're gonna have to just upgrade our pockets to be bigger. I have a feeling. Uh, yeah, so lots of little details here and there, lots of feature upgrades with this new version. And I'm just going to quickly go over what we're going to be expecting in terms of like the model itself. So, of course, we have the iPhone 15, and there's going to be a lot of different variations from it. We're expecting 4 models. So, of course, we have your standard 15, 15 Plus, and there also is going to be the Pro and the Pro Max. So that's what it's speculated right now. Don't think there's going to be more because that tends to be what's repeated from last year, but we'll see. Other than that, we have lots of things to look forward to in terms of just like little upgrades. Of course, we have the Lightning, as you said, Kyle, speedier, 2 times the speed compared to the Lightning, and then 48 megapixel sensor from last year's Pros. So lots of things to look forward to. But the first thing I'm going to point out again, the artistic side of me. The colors that are going to be available to buy, to purchase. Apparently, they're all going to be in pastels in pink, blue, green, yellow, and black, but no white, apparently, which is shocking to me. For the longest time, I think there's always been some sort of white version of the color for the iPhone or even like an off-white. So the fact that there's not going to be one available as one of the colors for the iPhone 15 is shocking to me, especially because I had a bargain with somebody. I had to tell them, what are you going to give me if I have to take the white one? Because it was only one white and one like space gray left. I was like, okay, what are you going to give me? I'll take the white one. And then so, I mean, maybe that argument was telling the future of like, maybe this is why no one wants this, but I know there are other users out there who do like the white color. So interesting choice that they're taking that off. So I didn't know if anyone had any comments about my little rant there or not.
I do feel like a lot of people, like for a long time, did associate, like the kind of like very clean white look with, Apple and Apple products. I mean, I remember the old like iPod Shuffle, which looked like a little white pack of gum, So it's definitely interesting to see them kind of moving away from that, with this iPhone 15. But some of the other things that are speculated, the A16 chip is going to be on these. Ross Young, the display analyst, did state that they're still not expecting 120 hertz LTPO on standard models. The supply chain just can't support that. That said, the 120 hertz is more likely to be on the Pro version, while the regular versions are going to be on the 60 hertz ones. But all 4 of the iPhone 15 models will support the 15-watt wireless charging without MagSafe. Is what I have dug up. That said, there's a lot more stuff going on with the Pro and Pro Max versions, and I believe Emmanuel, you did some digging on that, right?
Yes, and just to comment on Mackenzie, the colors, I mean, I'm happy they have blue, obviously, as you can tell, background. I love a good blue. I always felt like rose gold, for whatever reason, is like super popular. with the iPhone, so I'm surprised that's kind of been phased out. But yeah, and also I feel bad for whoever had to wrestle Mackenzie in an AT&T store over a white iPhone. But yes, the iPhone 15 Pro Max and Pro, lots of features always packed into these. So it's rumored by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman that it's going to have titanium instead of stainless steel, which is very exciting. It also may offer a USB Type C data transfer accessory for Pro models, capable of a Thunderbolt or USB 4 speeds up to 40 gigabits per second, and they'll also be able to transfer ProRes files. And then the last thing that I heard was that it's rumored that the iPhone Pro models will support at least USB 3.2 or Thunderbolt 3. So lots of things being packed in there. Definitely worth the kidney I'm gonna have to sell to get it.
Don't sell a kidney.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
don't do that. They have to get on the market first, Emmanuel.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
saying. But no, lots of tiny details. I mean, this is expected for every iPhone upgrade. There's going to be these little tiny enhancements that maybe are not visible to the eye, but definitely improve the usability and the interface of the phone in general. But just to go on a little further in terms of what else is being changed, apparently it's speculated that the bezel thickness is actually going to be record breaking in terms of like just how thin they're able to get it this time. So again, it definitely contributes to the speeds and the interface usability. Then of course we have the titanium, which hopefully really helps with the amount of times someone wants to accidentally break their iPhone. Let's hope that doesn't happen going forward. There's also going to be apparently a rumored action button that's very similar to the Apple Watch Ultra for customizability and remapping to almost anything. So I'm definitely looking forward to how that's going to be intertwined with a phone per se. And of course, we have new camera materials. And then there's also the 5 to 6 times optical zoom pre-scope lens on the Pro. Maybe not. We'll see if that's to be true or not. There's lots of speculation there, but we always love a good camera upgrade on these phones. And then A17 chip performance efficiency improvements and just so much more. And I always go back to the colors. Like there's also maybe silver and space black and dark blue. Who knows? Okay. I'm just saying if there's no white, I'm confused. Okay, so we have quite a bit on the iPhone 15 in speculation. Of course, that's the main product that's going out this event, but there's other technology on the Apple lineup that we also have to look forward to. Let's start with the Apple Watch. Kyle, did you find anything in your research?
Yeah, so the Apple Watch Series 9 is just going to be a slight update of the Series 8. They are updating the cores with the S Series chip. There's going to be a noticeable performance improvement, which is going to be nice. That S9 chip is based on the A15 Bionic chip, which is the one that is used in the iPhone 13 and the 14. So again, improved performance, efficiency, app launch, and hopefully improve battery life as well. And something that I'm sure you'll be excited about, the artistic one here, new pink color options. So the Apple Watch is has some new style to it. So that's what I dug up for the Apple Watch Series 9. But E-Man, I believe you got something for the Ultra, right?
Yes, the Ultra has a lot of things going on. This top of the line Apple Watch, it's going to be $800. 49 millimeters is going to be the size, and it's possibly going to have a new space black titanium dark color option, which that's going to be really cool. And then also this fall, we should have the same S9 processor upgrade. And also, it's going to rumored to be lighter due to the new 3D printed components. So I'm interested in that.
Ooh, all these fancy gadgets. As a reminder, I know I'm the Apple person in the room, but that's like the one piece of tech I have not gravitated to in the Apple lineup because I really want to make sure I'm sold on something that I want to be able to use every day. I still have not actually made that decision or thought it was usable in that way. But with the spring event talking about the upgrades to the Apple Watch OS and also this new one, it might be on my radar. But do you all, I know you all are Apple users, maybe you use the Apple Watch anyway, but do either of you use any of that kind of tech at home?
Oh yeah. I definitely have the Galaxy. I just got the newest Galaxy Watch. And it definitely, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say it, I know Android at heart, it does not have all of these features. So I might have to grab one of these and just figure out how to connect that to my Android somehow.
Well, if they're gonna at least have compatible like charging ports going forward, hopefully, like that's one thing.
Yeah.
What about you, Kyle? You interested in any kind of tech like this? You know, the watches of the future?
You know, I've wanted to get into it. I haven't. Ultimately, I just want like a giant, like Pip Boy or Omni tool strapped to my arm, but we're not quite there yet, I don't believe. So I haven't gotten into it yet. There's a couple things that are pretty neat. I know that my folks are super into it because they're really big into like hiking and camping and stuff like that. So all that and all the like safety features and stuff that they've integrated into those, like it's a big deal for them. So I definitely have people in my life that are super into them.
Yeah, that's the one thing that makes me go back. I'm like, getting into hiking or biking in that rate, like that's definitely useful on the exercise front. I've always gone like, maybe I should get it this time. I don't know. But speaking of things that are useful on the go, let's talk about the AirPods and those upgrades because it's not a full upgrade. At least that's the speculation. So apparently, because of the EU rules when it comes to the charging port, they're going to be upgrading the case to fit the USB-C charging, but it's not going there's not going to be any upgrades to the AirPods themselves. It's still going to be third generation in terms of the standard set and the other sets as well. For the latest pros, those are going to be same gen as well. No upgrades there. So it's not entirely an upgrade, but it's upgraded for usability, which is not something we tend to see with AirPods or just any headphone set in general. But I will say that, I am sad to say that I guess my AirPod case is going to be obsolete here in a bit, which makes me sad. But I guess I just have to move on and go forward, keep happy thoughts. Speaking of other accessories, though, Kyle, accessories for the Apple Tech. What's out there? What's speculated?
Yeah, so there's going to be some new iPhone cases, and Apple Watch bands are going to be featured in some fancy new colors as well. So all exciting things on that front. The bands are speculated to be made of a woven fabric for the Apple Watch Series 9 that are going to be leather-like, but use actually eco-friendly materials. So yeah, people have claimed that the leather, quote unquote leather iPhone 15 cases are going to be eco-friendly, which is pretty exciting. As I'm always trying to stay glued in on that side of things for sure. So I'm excited to see those kinds of developments.
Yes, as the vegan friend of the group, absolutely.
That's me. Yep, that's me.
All right. Emmanuel, what about you? Any other product updates or even software that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, so some new software that's expected to be released in September. All right, I'm gonna run them off. iOS 17 for the iPhone, okay. iPad OS 17 for the iPad, Watch OS 10 for the Apple Watch, and TV OS 17 for the Apple V. So lots of things going on there. I was definitely curious, Mackenzie, which out of, and I know Kyle, you and me, Android, but out of that list, what do you like? What sounds most interesting, or what are you looking forward to the most?
That is a good question. I'm definitely looking forward to a couple of the updates that the iOS 17 is going to be bringing for the iPhone, just because like it's always like the compatibility. You have something start from the iPhone or it starts from the iPad and then they cross over later. So definitely looking forward to some of those. I'm definitely an iPad user, so I'm looking forward to every update that comes to the iPad. Apple Watch, I just said I don't have one. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, for those who have those TVs, good for you. I can't wait for you to enjoy the usability for that interface design to be so much more smoother than it was last year. But yeah, no, lots of things to look forward to. And we definitely discussed all of this much more in greater detail at Apple's last event. So if you want to go check out that video, you can. It's on the channel. You can see all our lovely reactions during the live event. But I think that's all the latest rumors from Apple. But, you know, before we send off, because I think the event is about to start in just a few minutes, Manuel, Kyle, any last thoughts? I'll leave it to you in terms of what's the show going to be like?
I mean, honestly, just for you, I hope that at the end they surprise everyone and bring out the white iPhone. I hope that's the biggest thing that I'm really hoping for. But yeah, I'm just interested to see what they do with the dynamic island and the updates for the Pro and Pro Max, and what all features that we talked about are true and what surprises they have.
And I'm just really excited to see, Apple jumping into the USB-C world to make things a lot easier with connecting. Because really, exclusive ports like that I'm not a fan. So it's cool to see them moving in this direction and also taking other actions to be more eco-friendly. I'm all about that jazz. So excited to see what all they roll out for this. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully some of our speculations are correct. I really hope that some of our logo expectations are also correct too, because that would be we would be back to back amazing in guessing that. But I will go ahead and make sure we jump off this call so we can go ahead and go watch the Apple event. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us before then. And if you have any comments, any guesses yourself before the Apple event starts, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. But again, thank you for joining us. And Emmanuel, Kyle, thank you for joining me as well to talk about Apple. And I'm sure we'll have more thoughts later. Thanks for watching.